Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to May I Scraplift You. Today I am scraplifting Filma C Scraps, or maybe it's Filmax Scraps. Anyway, that's the Instagram handle, and I really love this layout. I love how colorful it is, and I love the vertical chevron design there. And well, mine is not going to be nearly as colorful. I'm working in greens, and it's going to be a little bit different. And the reason for that is because the vertical chevron there reminded me of a tree. And so I thought it was the perfect opportunity to document um, when we took down some trees up at our cabin that had been infected with the bark beetles. And the trees are huge. They're like probably 40 inches in diameter. Um, and diameter, is that right? Yeah, diameter. 40 inches across at the base. Anyway, um, and like, I don't know, I want to say probably like 80 feet tall. And so we had to take down several of them. You can see the picture there. It has the tree laying on the ground. I don't have a photo of, well, I have photos of the trees when they were still alive and up, but I'm just using this photo of the tree on the ground, and I'm going to use a QR code with it because I have video of the tree actually being cut down and falling over and all of that stuff. And so there is a QR code that will be associated with this for my family to view when they go through the scrapbook. I don't have it, it's not going to be on the layout when you see it, but I will have a holding space for it. So I pulled out my shimmers Inklings in Honeydew List, which is the lighter of the two greens, and then Green Goddess is the darker of the two greens. And they are, granted, very light colors. I actually wanted them light because in the inspiration piece, she has some mixed media there, but it is very light. And so I didn't want to have that be really overpowering. And then I pulled out this tissue paper in this lime green, and it's got these darker green flecks in it, which really mimics the same colors of the inklings that I used. So I thought that was like the perfect thing, and it creates a soft edge. It looks like she's got some maybe in white with black spots or something like that. It looks like she's also using tissue paper, so that's kind of why I decided to kind of pull the tissue paper look in. It is a softer look and I really like it. And then I decided to go with some darker colors, this darker green, which kind of reminds me of like a brocade fabric. And I thought it was like the perfect color of green to create my trees out of, or my chevron design. And I am just kind of freehanding that. I am trying to get a straight edge on it there so that when I cut it, it has like a straight edge and it's not jagged. But I am freehanding it, the first one, and then I am just kind of using that first one as a template to cut all of the other ones. And you have to flip it over upside down to get the opposite angle. But other than that, it works really well. There are a couple of cuts that are a little bit off, and you'll see that I trim those a little bit later. But for the most part, it works really, really well. And then I'm also going to cut some in black because in the inspiration piece, there's a whole bunch of different colors. But I'm not using a whole bunch of different colors. I'm just using the green and the black, and I like the way that it looks. I think it kind of looks, well, it kind of has a nature vibe going with it, but it goes really well with the photo. Almost like camouflage, but not exactly. So, yeah, I'm just cutting a bunch of those. And it looks like she's got 3 vertical columns of them going in a chevron pattern, but they're not all lined up, and mine are not going to be lined up either. I'm going to use the same kind of pattern that she is using, where it's 3 in the first, and then 5, and then I think 3 in the third column. Anyway, I'm going to use the same kind of pattern that she's using. And I love how this comes out. I think it comes out so great, and it's a lot of fun. It actually almost looks kind of like military militaristic. I don't know, is that even a word? Um, so I do want to make sure I get them kind of lined up vertically on my paper there. So I am using my T-square ruler to kind of get them lined up. But you'll see that I do kind of have to adjust things because even though I use the T-square ruler, it's still kind of off a little bit. And I kind of have to account for that. And then you can see here's where I'm trimming a couple of them. A couple of them were a little bit longer than they needed to be. And so I did trim those. And once I get the first column lined up, the other columns I'm not worried about. I just wanted to get that first one lined up so I have a good starting point. And so my tree is not looking like it's leaning, even though, you know, my story is about taking a tree down. I don't want this design here leaning, which it's not really a tree, but it gives that kind of feel to it. Just trying to get those angles the right way. I like how that looks. Look, I'm checking it just to make sure they're all kind of like staying straight and I didn't get off center. Now I have these stitching dies, not dies, stamps, and those are from 49th and Market. And I am going to use those because it looks like on the inspiration piece that she actually did stitching on the layout. And I can't tell if it's faux stitching or if it's actual stitching. So I am just going to go ahead and use it as a stamp instead of trying to run it through my sewing machine. Normally I do run it through my sewing machine, but I thought this was a good piece to try these stamps on. It's the first time I've really used them. Actually, it's the second time I've used them, but I thought it was a good time to try them because it is a mixed media piece and it doesn't have to be perfect. And so I thought it would be kind of fun to try them on this piece. And you did see there that I just used a piece of that paper, the back side of one of those papers, to kind of block off the top part of that stitching between the first and second columns of the chevron. Now I'm backing my photo in white and in black. Actually, the photo had white around it already because the way that I print the photo, it prints with a white border. And then I just add black, and I just use the 4.5 by 6.5 inch black matte paper from Hobby Lobby. And I like that because I don't feel like there's a lot of waste to it. I feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck, and it's really easy just to pull out and trim a little bit off and throw the rest away. It's not, I don't feel guilty about like cutting into a 12 by 12 or anything like that. Now I have these stamps from Studio Light. They are Art by Marlene cling stamps, and I'm using the dots there. I really like how this looks, and I am using it in the color, I think it's Eucalyptus, and that is from Catherine Pooler. So I like that, just adding a little bit more of that mixed media texture. And then I went to my color bins, and this is what I call my earth tone color bin. So I do have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then white and black, but then I have one called Earth because it has all shades of browns and tans in it. I don't want to limit it to just brown. It has anything that is like off-white, cream, tan, brown. And so I went through there and I pulled out these little frames that were originally from an Amy Tangerine paper pad. And then I have these really old thickers. They're from Pebbles, and I don't know if they actually are considered thickers because they are so old. They don't say thickers on them. They say Pebbles. You can see the top of the packaging there on the left-hand side. And they are corrugated cardboard. And so I had found that and sign, or the ampersand sign, in my bin of earth tone things, and so that reminded me that I had these stickers in corrugated cardboard, and so I pulled those out. And so my title is They All Came Tumbling Down, and kind of reminds me of the song, if you are religious at all or know the song, when Joshua fought the Battle of Jericho, the walls came a tumbling down. It kind of reminded me of that, but I am using my little tiny tile pieces there. That's going to say they all came, and then tumbling down is going to be in that corrugated cardboard. And the little set that I am using there is from Paper Tray Ink, and unfortunately they don't make it anymore. I've had so many people ask me about that set. It is a wonderful set and I love it. Thankfully I bought it not too long before they quit making it. But I just love it because you can stamp it in whatever color you want, and then you can pop them off of the little tabs and you have whatever letters you need there. I am just making sure the edge of a couple of those where they were popped off of the little tab strip are black, because the white was definitely showing. And normally I don't worry too much about that, but I figured it's black. The black ink pad was sitting right there, so I went ahead and fixed it. Normally any other color I probably would not have gone to the trouble to get out the ink pad to fix that. So now that I've got my title work done, I'm going to work on a little bit of embellishing. And I don't go really crazy embellishing because there's already a lot going on this layout. I really do like how it looks. There's a lot going on, but it doesn't look like there's a lot going on. It looks very simple so far, and that makes me kind of happy because it doesn't look overworked or anything. It looks I don't know, I haven't even got really the embellishments on, and it looks like it could be done. Those two little strips of paper that I'm tucking in there, it was just a little rectangle piece of paper that had pine trees on it. And I just added it in. It's hard to see it on the screen, but in real life you can see that there's like little pine trees peeking out. And then I have that little clock piece. I think it says the time is now, which the time was definitely now that it needed to be done, because we already had a couple of the tops of the trees come down and we ended up with a hole in the roof of our cabin, and so that had to be repaired. I did trim off the two outer edges, and I am backing it in black, so there's a black border on the two sides. There will not be a black border on the top and the bottom because that has that dark green border, but I do end up with a black border on the two sides, and I like how that looks. I'm not really sure what prompted me to cut my paper. But I don't know. I'm not really 100% sure on why I did that, but I do like the black border around the edge, and it may have been just out of habit and because there was two white edges. Normally if there's white edges, I do like to have it framed, and that's probably what my thinking was. So I do like that, and then I end up pulling out some wood grain sequins from Spiegelmom Scraps. And I'm almost done with the layout. You can see there's a little black square in the bottom left-hand corner of the photograph, and that is my placeholder for my QR code. And while I finish this up, I'll just tell you, May I Scraplift You has been going on all month, and I am playing along with for the entirety of the month with Crystal Barrett over at Pineapple Papers. There's a bunch of other people playing along. Everybody's links are down in my description box down below, so you can go and check them out and leave them a little bit of love and get all kinds of inspiration. And I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And if you are subscribed, I'd love for you to or if you are not subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.